But previously, I received a lot of sexual stuff through people who's been following me and checking my account up, asking for this, if I can give them their photos or if I have a video, they will pay me. And I was like, that's not what I do. That's not the reason what I'm doing.
Hi everybody, welcome back to At the Backdoor. I'm your host for today, Reese, and today we are going to be talking about nude modeling here with our special guest, Saf. Say hi, Saf.
Hi.
So Saf, to start off, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So, of course, I'm Saf. I'm actually a corporate slave.
Okay.
But other than that, I'm more into artistic pursuits like photography. Sometimes I do modeling. And at the same time, I also paint and draw. So I think that's the basic background that I have that most people know about. But not everyone knows that, of course, I do nude modeling. It is actually a very scary topic to talk about, especially that people perceive it as something close to prostitution, which is very different from what we really do as a model.
Have you faced that sort of stigma here in the Philippines of like, oh, you're a nude model. That means you're a prostitute. Because like in other countries, in
It's
the
very
West, for
free.
example, it's a totally normal job.
Exactly. So yes, on a daily basis, actually, of course, I really face that because not everyone knows that I do this. However, those people who knew, right after I tell them, oh yeah, I do nude modeling, they'd be like, oh, so you can be paid for. So I was like, that's different. So it's really tough to, of course, to give a background to those people as to what we really do. Because of course, for me, I do this because I want to do it artistically, and that's it. I'm not the type of person. Well, I cannot speak for everyone who does this, that they only do it for artistic pursuit. Of course, we all have our own reason why we do this stuff. For me, it is for artistic. For others, they have their own reasons. So it is really hard to break the stigma off when it comes to this topic, especially when you're talking to someone that you just met and then they learn about this thing once they check your Instagram or stuff like that. So it's kind of like, no, it's different. Every now and then, before I closed my messages in Instagram,
Closed it now.
yeah, I closed my messages on Instagram for people that I'm not following with, so they cannot message me. But previously, I received a lot of sexual stuff through people who's been following me and checking my account up, asking for this, if I can give them their photos or if I have a video, they will pay me. And I was like, that's not what I do. That's not the reason what I'm doing. And at the same time, when I was pursuing this path, there's a lot of times where people observe, of course, they're very used to how you look naked. So whenever you meet up with them in person, they'll be like, mataba ka pala in person, no? So I was like,
Gotten that?
yeah, I actually lost weight. I've gained weight during this process. And back then, I was 45 kilos, which is unhealthy for my height. And then I received that comment from that person. He's like, ang payat mo sa picture, no? He's like, ang payat mo sa picture. Ba't ang taba mo in person? So I was like, when I experienced that, I was like, maybe angle lang. You know, sabi ko, maybe angle lang. But then, as I progress, I constantly receive those kinds of comments, but I just brush it off and I'll be like, I know how I look. I'm confident with how I see myself. And you can't really break how I see myself.
It's interesting how it's art.
It is.
And I think when you view art, it's more of like at least to me, an understanding of, okay, this is how this certain artist sees it this way.
Yeah.
But I can't believe that other people have made it a platform for them to tell somebody on how they're supposed to look.
We are aware that there is an ideal And we cannot really break that ideal that people have, because of course we all have our own preferences. And we can't really break that since they're entitled to their own preference. But doesn't mean that you have a preference. You will have to apply that to everyone that you meet.
Exactly.
In which other people think, just because they have a preference, they think that it should apply to everyone. Having an ideal is okay. Having a preference is okay. However, the bad thing is trying to apply that perception that you have in mind to everyone that you meet, which is bad.
Yeah.
So that there comes misogyny and things like that. So it's really a matter of knowing who you're talking to and knowing if the person that you're talking to is accepting of what you do.
How did you even get into nude modeling? Like, I want to know. I've always been curious about it.
Well, for me, it started off as an invitation from one of my friends. He invited me. He's like, Saf, do you want to do shoot? So at first it was a normal shoot, and then he's like sending me photos of nude models, the shoots that they've done, all those things. And as a photographer, I was like, oh shit, I want to do that. I want to try that. But I was a very shy person when it comes to that. So I tried it once, and then I was like, will I do this continuously? Is this a one-time thing? Until the photos came in, and I was like, you're kidding. This is not me.
No way.
So I didn't know that those photos will empower me, will give me confidence to be who I am right now. Because it's really hard to overcome being shy or being not being able to be comfortable in front of the camera. It's really hard at first.
Okay.
Then once you feel like, oh shit, I like this, I like doing this, so why not? So after that shoot, I had some invitation from other photographers. But before I shoot with a photographer, I make sure that they're friends with me. I know them personally before I can work with them.
How's the nude modeling industry or nude modeling and photography industry here in the Philippines? Like, what's your experience?
You have to know who you will work with. You really have to know first
Why is
who
that?
you're working. This thing where if you work with a stranger, of course there is possible things that might not happen that they won't be accountable for if it happens.
Okay.
Because, of course, you're doing nudes in front of a stranger. So it's kind of like weird. But if you know the person deeply and you've been friends with them for like a month or two, at least you have a little confidence that you trust the person that you're working with. Hence why, in my experience, I always make it a point that I have a conversation with the person that I'm gonna be shooting with. And at the same time, I would know the person personally, and they should have friends in my circle as well. So I know that I can trust the person. So it's hard to distinguish which photographers will you work with, but I always work with people that I trust with.
But what led you to stay?
What led me to stay is, of course, as I mentioned, I was a very shy person. Although I am a very conversational person, however, there's this thing that when I was starting to do modeling while I was a photographer, I was like, can I do this? So mostly, one of the reasons why I stayed is number one is curiosity.
Okay.
I wanted to know what are the boundaries that I can step into. Number two, of course, it is artistic. It is art. What I'm doing is art, and I love doing art. Whether it be painting, drawing, shooting, I love doing it. It is the type of safe space that I have. And at the same time, it empowers me as a person, as a woman, which people judge every now and then for having the type of body that I have or for having the face that I have. So you're constantly judged based on how you look. So I was like, why not I do this so I can prove these people wrong? And then once the photos come out, I'll be like, I told you so.
Okay. How are you able to set boundaries besides the whole not allowing strangers messaging you or people who you don't follow message you? How are you able to set these boundaries with people you want to shoot with, for example, but you're not sure of? Do you have like a contract or like certain guidelines that you want to express? Is there something that you watch out for?
Yes, I have a lot.
Okay,
I actually have
lay it out.
I have a long list. So that's number one is the people that I shoot with should be friends with some friends that I have. At least they know them personally. So once they ask me for a shoot, I would ask my friends who are common friends with them if they know this person, what is their experience, how does this person work with other people. So those are the basics. And then once I agree with a shoot, because usually it takes months before I agree to a shoot because of scheduling. So once I agree with a shoot, I would tell them this is the only thing that I'll do. I won't accept anything beyond that. If you wanted to do more, unfortunately, I'm out.
Okay.
So I lay it on before the shoot. I inform them. They give me things that they wanted to do in the shoot, and once I like the concept, that is when I would agree. But anything beyond that, I will not do. So basically, I always put my foot down. Whatever is conversation, that's it. Anything more, you can type it in.
As you should.
Yeah.
What sort of concepts have you done?
I have done nude. Right now, we're planning to do a bathtub shoot with blood because it's Halloween.
Okay. Okay.
I also did lingerie shoots before, but most of the time, I like being nude instead. And I always make it a point that my face is not included, of course.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that like your main rule? Like, have you ever strayed off from that?
Yes, I have done it once, and that's it. Because after people knew that I'm the model in that specific photo, people are messaging me and stuff. So I was like, no, this is the last time that I'm shooting with a face.
Oh.
So once they determine who's the model, there are some other people who's like, oh, I can message this girl.
Okay.
Which is for me, it's I don't like talking to strangers that I do not know personally. So I always make it a point that can we shoot without a face if my whole body is exposed? Of course, that's number one. At the same time, corporate-wise, of
Okay,
course,
yeah, 'cause you mentioned it.
being in a
Slave.
yeah, having a corporate job is tough, especially if you have this kind of background. Because of course they wanted to want someone who has good morals,
Whatever that means.
and they think that doing this is bad for the company, whether or not. So I experienced that as well before. So you're not open for people like me. I can move on.
That's great that you know now not to compromise with these things.
Yeah, because this is the thing that I wanted to do constantly, and I'm really happy what I'm doing. It is a safe space for me to explore or to express myself as a person. At the same time, my femininity. It is hard to find someone accepting of who you really are. And doing the shoot really made me filter out which people would accept me for who I am.
How has your mental health journey been in relation to nude modeling? Do you think it's affected it?
At first, it was affected, of course.
Kasi naninibago ka pa lang.
Yeah, it got affected because, of course, growing up in a very conservative family, you have this anxiety that, oh no, they might know that it's me. And I was like, how will I deal with this once they learned? And then I just came up with an understanding with myself that even if they see it, nothing's gonna change. The photos are out there, and that's it. It's kind of like a roller coaster when I started, because I would feel confident, and then suddenly I'm in a depressive mode.
Okay,
So kind of like that. But I think in the past year, like ever since the start of 2022, I just felt confident with how I look. That's when I realized that, oh, so this is how I feel. This is what I'm supposed to feel. Whenever I'm looking at my body, this is me.
Okay.
And yeah, nobody's...
More neutral
Yeah.
and accepting. Okay. I get that. I get that. And personally, I agree. I feel you'll go crazy trying to,
You will.
right?
You will.
Go over like all of those details.
Exactly.
It'll drive you crazy.
It even came to the point that I was like, if I have bigger boobs, if I have smaller waist, if I have a bigger butt, what will I look like? Will people accept me more? And then I was like,
Mm.
Nah, I doubt that.
Yeah, I feel they'll always have something to say anyway. They're just gonna point out something else to spy
Exactly.
on.
Exactly, because of course, as I mentioned earlier, we cannot really please everyone. No matter how you look, and no matter what you do with yourself, how you present yourself. No matter how nice you can be or how bad of a person you are, we can't really dictate whether the people will accept you or not.
How did you try to stray out from or like get out of comparing yourself to other women? I feel that's a very relevant question, even outside of the nude modeling industry. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
No.
it is. It is actually hard to be in the position that I am right now. But what it takes is to have supportive friends who accepts you for who you are. Because of course, although it is a battle which is you versus you, you should also have a support system of people who accepts you, who loves you for who you are, who loves what you do, which is hard to find nowadays.
It is.
It is very hard to find nowadays because, of course, everyone thinks everything's competition. When I realized that I have this certain friends that supports me, loves what I do, actually all of them, whenever I post a story of the shoot that I did, they'll be like, "Oh my God, this looks so good." Yeah. So that's when I had the confidence to step up with myself and be a better person for myself because I wouldn't really be able to grow if it doesn't start with me.
Like I feel it takes a certain amount of perseverance, work, and time to be able to grow into yourself and accept that.
It is. It is very hard. Imagine I've been battling this push and pull for the past 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it is really tough to pull yourself out into that perspective or in that mindset. You really have to work it out with yourself and make it a point to appreciate yourself every now and then whenever it comes to these kinds of topics.
I feel it's really easy to get into getting lost in what people think and instead, tuning into yourself.
Yeah, if you are a person who wanted to please everyone, it really would be hard, especially that I came from that.
It's a big change.
It is a big
Big,
change.
long change.
It is a big change, and imagine it took me a long time before I realized that. But it's not impossible, to be honest, to have this kind of mindset
I agree.
where you accept yourself. It is it's not that hard. Although of course it really depends on the person that is dealing with it.
Exactly.
But once you realize that the power that you have when it comes to have accepting or appreciating your body, it's really a big change.
Do you have any advice on, for example, those curious to get into nude modeling or those who are willing and open to start out on their body acceptance journey? Do you have any tips or anything?
Yeah, of course. Do it. That's the thing that I wanted to say. Do it. Because once you see yourself as how other people see it, you would be more accepting of how you are and how you present in the public. Because to be honest with you, it's really tough to have that confidence. But once you start doing it and once you appreciate what you're doing, it will all come to place and everything would follow.
Thank you for those amazing wisdom wise words, Miss Saf. Thank you for coming on to this show. Let us know down below if you have any thoughts on your body acceptance journey or nude modeling in general. If you have any questions or if you have any experience, please share them down below. If you want to check out our other videos, you can check out the At the Backdoor channel. Till then, we'll see you in the next episode. Bye!
Most of them were like, if I pay you 5K, will you have sex with me? I was like,
No way!
yeah, they did. I was like, fucking hell. I didn't expect it from that specific person because I've been friends with him for like,
Kakilala.
yeah, we've been friends for like 7 years.